we got some more fun in Season of Stripe 5. We are fighting pirates with Ace, we are fighting against Avengers and Ash, right? It's still Zone 2, I guess Merit Shop just got refreshed and people wants to fight, and as always, whenever there is a fight, I'm trying my best to be online and I'm trying my best to get as much merits as possible. I will repeat that we are still tier 5 players and we are basically fighting against maxed out players, right? Of course, the fight is not easy. The single second which will happen that somebody will target my legion, basically it means that we are going to die, right? That's why we should be cautious. We should try our best in order for us to survive, and not only survive, we have to deal damage, right? Because yeah, like every time we are fighting against maxed out players, the difference is pretty huge in terms of merits, in terms of impact. So like my main gameplay as always is to stay alive longer during the battlefield. Many different players have a different kind of gameplay when it comes to Call of Dragons PvP gameplay. And from the early stages, I look at the gameplay of Call of Dragons in a way that doesn't really matter how much damage you are dealing, doesn't really matter what kind of damaging abilities you have or artifacts you have. What's important in Call of Dragons in order for you to be effective in open field PvP is to just survive, right? Try to survive, try to deal damage to the target, and that's the game, that's the way I think game should be played, right? So the reason is pretty simple. If you are just trying to deal damage, like as much damage as possible without thinking about survivability, even if you have the highest amount of damage throughout the whole legions around the battlefield, trust me, you won't gonna be able to get merits, right? Simply because in order for you to get merits, especially against tier 5 players, against maxed out players, there is only one way, right? Stay alive, try to deal damage, don't get targeted, simply because every single second whenever you are getting targeted, you are losing way more than you are getting, right? Especially if you are tier 4. I always remember my first couple of steps, actually, when I started Call of Dragons, how hard it was for me to even fight against tier 5 players when I was early tier 4, right? I understand every single player's problems, struggles when it comes to PvP, because when you start the game and you are not investing any money in the game, which means you are basically free-to-play player, you are not getting any merits, you are not getting any fun whenever you are fighting on the early stages of your journey in Call of Dragons. I want to say the words which gonna like encourage you to keep playing, because I just kept playing, I just kept gathering resources, I just kept fighting still, and at some point whenever I understood that I was good enough, basically I had like couple of strong and important researches completed, which is basically the one which is giving the defense and HP bonuses. I think that's like one of the most important bonuses in terms of open field PvP, and well, if you don't have those bonuses maxed out, I'm pretty sure you are dying super fast. And whenever you are dying super fast, unfortunately, you don't have enough time in order for you to get enough merit, so you will be satisfied, right? Of course, like for example, right now we are fighting, I don't even have stewardship. I will be honest, this is not the first fight for today. I have been fighting here for, I don't know, maybe 1.5 hours, and the amount of merits I got from the last run is simply amazing. I even posted in the YouTube post section, so you guys will see we got like more than 60k merits again fighting against these players, right? Of course, if you have checked out the early videos of this KVK, how hard it was for me to get any merits while fighting in Call of Dragons, I guess the reason because of those low amount of merits was not having maxed out policies, right? My policies are not even maxed out right now, but it's way better than it was on the early stages of the Season of Stripe 5. On the early stages of this KVK, of course, I have not had the full capacity of my troops in one legion. Plus, of course, the counter policies actually affect the game quite well, right? Because when I finally managed to get the level 11 on the counter attack for the infantry players, while I have been dealing damage mainly to infantries because of no long range warfare, I got surprised because, well, surprisingly, my merits rising up, right? Yeah, my int is almost stuck, so I think it will be better for me to move. Yeah, unfortunately, in this got taunted, so if she will just die, it won't gonna be too much problem, right? So that's the biggest problem of tier 4 players. The enemies are having blink artifacts on infantry, and whenever they are teleporting on top of your head, it's super hard to actually survive, right? But finally we managed to survive, and that's the way of the game. In terms of my troops and my legions and my marchers, well, we have some familiar faces such as Maggrat and Zayda, Kinara and Nico, Indecent Ara, which I have been fighting with for a while already. But we have a new face, which is Musyang and Thea. I'm playing with the Wyverns because I believe Musyang will be great even with Wyverns also, right? So, of course, I will try my best to test out her. Of course, she's not high level. She's 5532. Of course, the force skill on the Musyang is one of the most important ones because that's the skill which is increasing our damage in general. But yeah, unfortunately, that skill is not even 3 or 4 level. It's the 2 levels. That's why the damage dealing abilities won't gonna be dealing too much damage with Musyang. I will need some more time in order for me to work on her. Of course, I'm trying my best to awaken her because I believe that she's one of the strongest heroes in the game currently. And I believe that she's workable with almost every single hero pair which we are having in the game. And yeah, I believe if you are low spender or a free-to-play player, you should be trying to awaken heroes which can be used with the multiple hero pairs, right? So you won't gonna be restricted, you won't gonna be stuck with the one hero which you awakened. And yeah, that's why, well, simply my first choice for awakening hero when I started the game and I decided that I wanted to be tier 4, I wanted to be archer, was Kinara, right? Kinara was my first hero simply because I understood that I would be able to use Kinara in many different hero pairs, and so far there is one, right? There is one which is Kinara and Nico, there is also Kinara and Hosk. I'm for sure going to try to play with Kinara and Musyang because I believe that healing in open field PvP is absolutely amazing, right? So that's the reason why I'm trying my best to get Musyang on a good level, so finally I will be able to try out this hero in a full capacity, and I'm pretty sure the amount of merits we are going to get with the Musyang will be simply amazing, right? Of course, we have more and more enemies. We got stuck, and our most damage dealing hero pair is already at home. Unfortunately, even my troops are low, but well, the road until going home is pretty big. That's why I'm always trying to utilize my hero pairs until the maximum. I don't even care that if my troops are not full HP, that we are not dealing any damage. Like, simply, it's not a big of a deal. If my town and city is close to the battlefield, of course I'm always refilling, but if the distance is big enough that I should wait for a couple of minutes in order for me to refill my legions, then I always try to be just like maximalist and try to fully use my troops in a full capacity. Plus, we should always remember that I rate healing a lot, and almost on every single hero pair which I'm using here, we have healing, right? So if we have healing here, we should continue playing. Unfortunately, these troops are too low, and because of that, I will bring my main damage dealer in order for us to continue this PvP gameplay. And of course, at the end of the video, I will be able to show the merits which I have been getting in these fights, and merits which I got in a couple of runs ago, which was simply amazing, right? I wasn't really expecting that I would get more than 60k merits with my tier 4 troops, and I don't even have assault strategies on a maximum. I'm trying to unlock the last level, the 10th level of assault strategies, which is the longest research which I have left currently, which is really, really exciting, right? Because all the epic last level skills, the cool part about that is that they are giving 6% instead of 2, which is great, right? 6% is a lot, and I believe that whenever we're gonna get that amount of like physical attack on the archers, plus we know that archers are having highest physical attack in the game, we should be able to compete even more and even well with the tier 5 players, right? Of course, I could be able to get tier 5 troops right now, but I'm trying my best to save as much speed ups as humanly possible in order for me to actually try my luck in the Great Hates event. And if you don't know about Great Hates event, that's the event where we can get legendary city skin, which will grant us even higher percentage of the attributes which is necessary for us to be effective on the battlefield, right? I know for the archers the Great Hates event will be in couple of months. That's even better because I will have even more time to save up even more speed ups, right? So currently my speed up section looks like that. So I believe in like 3, 4, 5, even 6 months from now we should be able to have enough speed up. So like the live stream whenever I'm turned on the Great Hates and I will be unlocking tier 5, that should be pretty big, right? So I'm preparing myself for the unlocking tier 5 troops, plus I'm waiting for the Great Hates event, and hopefully I will be able to get that legendary skin, which is super amazing, and it will be epic if somehow I will be able to get it, right? We can see rallies are exchanging. So far it's not that easy for me to deal damage to anybody basically because I don't have a target. Whenever you don't have long range warfare, which means I don't have same range as mage players, it's really bad choice to move up without protection, right? That's why I always wait for my infantry players to step up. And whenever I see that I have infantries around me, that's the time whenever I'm trying to deal damage, right? For example, right now, if I had not had infantry players around me, I would get targeted, and yeah, like even if I have infantry players, I'm still getting targeted, right? So you can imagine what would happen if I had not had infantries. That's the reason why I'm saying that for the open field PvP, infantry troops and infantry hero pairs are having the highest amount of impact on the war, right? Because without infantry, not a single ranged unit is going to have an impact and they won't gonna get merits, right? So yeah, right now it's their time to push, and this is what have been happening for like past, I don't know, 1 or 2 hours. Hopefully more will continue because I believe we had not had enough PvP fights. Of course, there have been like 24 hours statue fights, which I don't really agree. I don't like 24 hours statue fights. Why 24 hours? That's pretty weird. But I don't know, like some people are having fun by playing the 24-hour statue wars, but generally for me, I think that's kind of too much. Maybe like, I don't know, 5 hours, 6 hours or something like that, but 24 hours is basically a lot, right? Yeah, right now I'm risking my life because I know that I don't have infantry players around me. But yeah, like sometimes I like to take damage, move back, and then get back to the battlefield, right? But depends on the target. I like to risk my legion whenever there is a high chance of me attacking the mage player, right? Because for the archers, dealing damage to mages is the most important thing because we are getting the highest amount of merits whenever we are dealing damage to mages. Simply why? Because archers are having highest amount of physical attack and mages are having lowest amount of physical defense, right? So whenever you are attacking mage player as an archer, you are killing lot of units, you are severely wounding lot of units, and that's how you are actually getting lot of merits, right? Because that's how merits are generated. It counts how many troops you sent in their hospital, and that's how you are getting merits, right? So basically that's the idea. Right now, of course, I'm risking. I can see this infantry flying around, and that was the reason why I wanted to get back, right? Simply because all these like tier 5 maxed out infantry players with blink, I think that's like too much. That's like too much for archers who are playing without long range warfare. Unfortunately for this run, I don't have stewardship. Stewardship is basically same as long range warfare, and I have said it many times. If you don't rate healing and you are playing with archers, you are missing out a lot. Especially if you are Maggrat and Zayda player, right? And if you are archer player and you don't have Maggrat and Zayda, I have no idea what you are actually playing, right? Because this hero pair, which is Maggrat and Zayda, is the G10 hero pair. Nothing compares them, right? Plus with healings, with the damages, yeah, I believe this hero pair is still the best, and in terms of my merits and performance, nothing actually compares to this hero pair, right? That's why I did not bring Kinara or Indis right now. I just brought this one hero pair, which I think will be enough for me to deal damage. And well, of course, the highest amount of damage I can actually deal is with this hero pair. And whenever I have limited amount of troops or my hospital is full, I'm just bringing my Maggrat and Zayda to deal as much damage as I can, because I know that there is no other ways of me dealing too much damage, because other hero pairs, they are not just capable of dealing that much damage as we are doing with Maggrat and Zayda, right? Yeah, we are getting closer and closer for the sending this troop and this legion back home. Yeah, that's what I said. 3 teleports, how fun it is to play with archers. I know at least we are having like, we can deal damage to players, but nobody wants to deal damage to infantry. I have no idea where is my Maggrat going, but let him go because we had a small amount of troops, and of course it's time for me to actually showcase the merits which I have been getting on the fights, right? Yeah, that's like 23k merits, the highest in this fight, but let me show you the merits which I got like 40 minutes ago. 28k with Kinara and Nico, 80k with the Indicentara, and 65k with Maggrat and Zayda, right? Of course, that was when I had stewardship on. This run was amazing. I have not gotten this amount of merits in this KVK before, and I'm really grateful. Of course, it was pretty risky fights here, but so far so good. At least we are getting some, because at the start of the KVK, I was really struggling, right? I was struggling a lot, but finally the numbers are getting better, right? Numbers are getting better. And yeah, this is the merits report, which I was trying my best to get as much as humanly possible. Basically, all of the targets which I have in these reports are maxed out players, and yeah, every single merits are truly really hard to get in this KVK. So yeah, that's the video. As always, I'm trying my best to showcase as much Call of Dragons PvP gameplay as humanly possible, and hopefully you guys are liking it, because if you are liking it, I will continue to make it more, right? Thanks for watching. I hope you liked the video. If you did, press like, subscribe, share. We are going to have more and more live streams. Thanks for watching. Bye bye and good luck everybody. See you soon.